thanks and appreciation the members of the Senate for the cooperation received during the session and also over the years. Potentiate maintained that though the joining of the Senate leadership was full of challenges, the Senate took a stance or the sense of responsibility to ensure that the state remains what it calls a movable state and a democratic one across Africa. According to the Liberian Senate Pro Tem, the Liberian Senate during its 6 years helped to create the environment for economic growth, exercise oversight over the executive and the judicial branches of government. Followed that the Senate instituted many legislative reforms as well as representing the country abroad with distinction and implemented many projects across the country. Meanwhile, Potentia has sent a message of gratitude to his colleagues who will not be returning to the 55th legislature for their public service and pray that another avenue be available to them in order for them to contribute to the growth and development of the country. The Deputy First Speaker, Councillor Fanatic Kofa, has promised to work in the interest of the country if elected as Speaker of the 55th legislature. The Deputy Speaker at the same time vowed to put the interests of the country above personal interests in an effort to move the country forward. The Liberian Deputy Speaker was speaking when over 50 blockers pledged their support to the speakership bid of Councillor Fanatic Kofa, where he promised the blocker that he will ensure that all the right things are done in the interest of the country. For their part, the over 50 social media personalities honored the banner blocker the Association of Liberia, called on members of the legislature to ensure that they vote Councillor Fanatic Kofa as the Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. The blocker at the same time honored the Grenfell County lawmaker for his many contributions to the country. Speaking during the program, the group head Antonin Fofana said, though they are not eligible to vote, they believe that Representative Fanatic Kofa will be a better speaker that will seek the interests of the country above personal interests. Ahead of the election of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the 55th National Legislature on the 15th day of January 2024, People says President-elect Joseph Boakai has invited members of the House of Representatives to his rehab residence for a meeting. The planned meeting comes in the wake of the widespread speculation that the President-elect has allegedly threatened members of the Unity Party representative team that they will not receive any developmental funds for their district if they fail to vote for the United Party representative who is contesting the seat, Richard Cohen. However, a front page Africa publication quoted the Director of Political Affairs of the Office of the President-elect, Mohammed Ali, as describing the speculation as unfounded. He said the invitation for Tuesday's meeting was extended to all lawmakers across the country. According to the front page Africa Beast, when contacted for comments, the Deputy Speaker, Fanatic Kofa, disclosed that he had not received any information from the President for the planned meeting, but emphasized that he had a meeting with the President, Joseph Boakai, on his invitation on Sunday. The Unity Party alliance is reportedly creeping with internal dissatisfaction July ahead of the January 22nd, 2024 inauguration of the party to steer the affairs of the country for the next 6 years. Leaked communication has revealed a growing rift between the Unity Party Internal Alliance and the leadership of the Unity Party. The UP Internal Alliance Party, chaired by Cephas Bolid, has reportedly sought a meeting with the Unity Party leadership, led by Chairman Reverend Luther Tappet. The request convened through two written communications by the Secretary General of the UP Initials Alliance Party, Augustine Capet, has raised eyebrows within the party ranks and file. With less than 13 days to the inauguration of President and Vice President-elect, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Joa Howard Taylor, has presented turning over notes to Vice President-elect Jeremiah Combs. On January 22nd, 2024, Ambassador Joseph Boakai and Senator Jeremiah Combs will officially be sworn in as President of the state to steer the affairs of the country for the next 6 years. But Vice President Boakai and Jeremiah Combs were both Vice President Jeremiah Combs and President-elect Joe Boakai were elected as the head of the country on the November 14, 2023 general and presidential election. Speaking at the turning over ceremony Tuesday at the Capitol building in Central Time Monrovia, Vice President Joe Howard Taylor described the just ended election as a boost for the country and the young generation. She, however, congratulated the Vice President-elect Jeremiah Cohen and expressed her willingness to work with him anytime if she is called upon to work in the interest of the country. Receiving a turning over note, the Vice President-elect Senator Jeremiah Cohen Rowley, the Liberian outgoing Vice President, and vowed to lead for the accuracy of development of the country. Bone County District Number 3 Representative Marvin Cole has expressed concern about what he described as a one-party system if a unity party lawmaker is elected as Speaker of the 55th Legislature. Representative Marvin Cole believes that the unity party leadership at the lower house has the propensity to lead to a one-party dominance that might compromise checks and balances within the country's governing system. He told journalists in Monrovia that a one-party rule would not be effective for the country's democracy, something he said Vice President Boakai, who is non-president-elect, doesn't support. Marvin Cole made a statement Tuesday when he pledged his support for the speakership bid of Deputy Speaker Fanati Kofa in next month's speakership election. If you just joining us, you are listening to the Tuesday's presentations of the program Freedom Even News Basket, a 45-minute news presentation. This news is relayed on Howard Radio in Papa District, Green Cape County. The sister of a man allegedly beaten by community dwellers on the account that he allegedly murdered his girlfriend is calling on the Liberian National Police to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. Speaking with Freedom News Tuesday in Monrovia, Hanon, Bracing explained that she was called early New Year Day that her brother was murdered or murdered his girlfriend, and before she could rush to the scene, he was being mobbed by angry dwellers within the neighborhood. Detail of that development will come out in our subsequent broadcast. Residents of the Zoltan community in New Jerusalem in Painesville and the Johnsonville area on Tuesday celebrated what they termed as a major milestone following the electrification of their community by the LECGAP Community Project. The LECGAP Community Project is aimed at connecting communities across the country under the management team of the Liberia Legislative Corporation. Speaking at the lighting ceremony Tuesday, the Chief Executive Officer of the Liberia Legislative Corporation, Morning Katam, expressed appreciation to residents of the area for cooperating with the technical team during the implementation of the projects. The LDC Chief Executive Officer also said the two projects were implemented through the management team of the Liberia Electricity Corporation under the GAP Community Project. Morning Katam followed that the electrification of those communities marks a significant step forward in improving the quality of life for its citizens, especially when it comes to security and the improvement of businesses across the country. For its part, the community chairman of the town expressed gratitude to the ADC management and called on residents of the community to protect the electricity within their neighborhood. And this final development, the inaugural committee of the Unity Party has released the calendar of activities leading to the inauguration of President and Vice President-elect Ambassador Joseph Boakai and Jeremiah Cohen on Monday, January 22nd. According to the release, the activity will begin with an Islamic intercessory prayer at the Benson Street Mosque in Central Town Monrovia on Friday, the 19th of January, to be followed by a women's program at the SKD Sports Complex in Painesville, outside the nation's capital. The release followed that on Sunday, the 20th day of January, the SKD Sports Complex will also will also be a host of activities which will see the Coca-Cola Youth Festival and other agriculture fairs taking place. They say the president-elect Joseph Boakai will lead an array of officials on Sunday to attend the intercessory Thanksgiving service at Echo Baptist Church in Oaxaca. That's it for the bulletin of news. It's back to you for the continuation of Freedom Even News Basket.
Thomas Kujurulak and the News Bulletin is a regular feature of Freedom Evening News Basket. If you're just joining us in one of the top developments we carried tonight, Criminal Court A reaffirms trial jurors' guilty verdict with life imprisonment at the Monrovia Central Prison against former Chief Justice Constable Gloria Musu Scott and three others for murder, but defense lawyers announces an appeal to the Supreme Court. Let's bring you the voices of those behind the news. One of the candidates in the pending speakership election, Deputy House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa, has promised to work in the interests of the country if elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Deputy Speaker Councillor Kofa at the same time vowed to put the interests of the country above personal interest in an effort to move the country forward. The Liberian Deputy House Speaker was speaking when over 50 bloggers pledged their support to the speakership bid of Councillor Kofa, where he promised the bloggers he would show that the right things are done in the interest of the country.
We know that we don't have good in the country, but we think good policy have. But the ordinary citizen, those who influence them, come out and say, this is what we want to make us pay attention. So I will take from this exercise. The great influence of pay the public dispensation, the folk and state, locally include the traditional media, include our social media, the audience who reach on a daily basis is far more numerous and more powerful than any other. And I accept this award in the name of my colleagues, Rock, who are the president and leader. I accept it with statements. And for me, it's a record of the work we have done over the years. It's about music of the state, through you, through me.
The over 50 social media personalities under the Bloggers Association of Liberia called on members of the legislature to ensure that they vote Councillor Funati Kofa as the Speaker of the 55th legislature. The bloggers at the same time honor the Granku County lawmaker for his many contributions to the country. Speaking during the program, the group head Anthony Fufana said, though they are not eligible to vote, they believe that Representative Kofa will be a better speaker that will seek the interests of the country.
From the past history and things that I've seen, not just me seeing, because it's not me as an individual who is doing this, it's a body of young and energetic Liberians who have more impact in the society. I've seen the need to endorse Honorable Councillor J. Funati Kofa to continue the work because he's the person that is not just someone of politics, but he's someone of humanitarian, someone who seeks the interest in developing the society of young people, and that in developing the society of young people, it also affect positively the parents and other people within the society because the young people have a lot of the population of them is more than the older ones. So with him as the speaker in the 55th legislative, we believe that he's going to speak and he's going to implement best for everyone. Why now we're certificating is because now we are recognized as the Blogger Association. Because first it was going to be an individual, but right now we have been registered and we are recognized, and we're seeing that we have to play a major role in decision making, even though we don't have the right to go and vote, but we have to make this knowing that this is our own vote.
Fofana is the head of bloggers who pledged their support to the speakership bid of Councillor Funati Kofa. Well, folks, in relation to that development, we are receiving reports that lawmakers are currently gathering at the home of President-elect Joseph Boakai ahead of a meeting on discussion regarding the pending speakership election. So this development, with less than 13 days to the inauguration of the president and vice president-elect, Vice President Jua Howard Taylor has presented a turnover notice to Vice President-elect Jeremiah Kuhn. Speaking at the turning over ceremony Tuesday at her Capitol building office, Vice President Taylor described the just ended election as a boost for the country and the younger generation. She, however, congratulated Vice President-elect Jeremiah Kuhn and expressed her willingness to work with him anytime she is called upon.
Yes, what is happening is a plus for our country, is a plus for the young generation. That we can go into a process and come out still remaining like leaders. I think the time is long gone when it becomes hatred. Elections are elections. Everybody will do what they can to do. And we want to say congratulations to the Unity Party for a well-structured and strategized fight to take us out of power. But it's not taking us out of power, it's moving us beyond power. Said, office is available, there might be some presentations that when I came to this office, we didn't have this wall. It's still not quite, but I wanted to see the faces of the vice president. We are always in obscurity. When we try to find the pictures of some of those who see just the flag, we haven't been able to do the life of Congress and help, but we're still looking for some. And we are going to open our mouth like as in my tenure, I've also added a picture next to incoming president. So we want to congratulate you. I wish you all of those blessings. I pray that God will grant you wisdom and understanding for the work that you are going to do. Life is not easy. The challenges to be surmounted with patience, with prayer, consultations. The Bible says in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And I know we haven't had it easy here. I'm not just a regular people, I'm an alpha people. People will tell you how so that we can but what I like about it is the whole stuff. I think we only have kind of a paradigm for the staff because we see and hear young people across not just here in the country, but has opened that avenue. So the space of the office of the vice president has shifted. From the old days, there would be a lot of issues coming to you. So in the winter, I'm sure by the time you see that they will come and talk to you. There are some problems. There are also issues of young people across the country that need more access, more help, more involvement. I believe the office of the vice president open to anybody. So you have that issue too. But I think the put a team together that will help you now in question.
Receiving the turnover notes, Vice President-elect Senator Jeremiah Kuhn lauded Vice President Taylor and vowed to lead with accuracy as Vice President for the next 6 years. Jeremiah Kuhn is Nima County Senator and Vice President-elect of the Republic of Liberia. There speaking when he received turnover notes from outgoing Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. In a move aimed at maintaining the balance of power within the incoming Unity Party government, Bone County District 3 Representative Marvin Cole has expressed concern about a one-party system if a Unity Party lawmaker is elected as Speaker of the 55th Legislature. Representative Cole believes that the Unity Party leadership at the lower house has the propensity to lead a one-party dominance that might compromise checks and balance in the country's governance system. Representative Cole made the statement Tuesday when he pledged his support to the speakership bid of Deputy Speaker Funati Kufa in next Monday's speakership election.
Who spoke against bad governance as they explained, they announced sanitary messages and asking people to not participate. I think if anything will hamper the democracy of our country or the power move of our country, it starts from the national legislature. If you are questioning or opting for the president pro tem position as a ruling party, you want a speaker position, you want a deputy speaker position, you must have something under your sleeve. And those bylaws that they want to pass, they will never remain in the legislature and those laws pass. I think that the president-elect is not aware. I can emphatically state that Joseph Human Parker, the president-elect, is a very good man. He's an intelligent old man. I think he's just been pushed or people insinuating that he has sanctioned these text messages, but he has made it emphatically clear that he's not aware of both text messages. In fact, if he can come in the public to say he sanctioned that, then that would be a different story. But I know that sources around him, including himself, he are committed, he are confirmed that he's not aware. If one ruling party all will opt in for the protest, all will opt in for the speaker, they say it was a bad governance procedure, and that is why the Liberian people voted Joseph Newman Walker. And I don't want to believe the old man that we have so much respect for, the old man that is coming to set Liberia on the right trajectory, to move our country in the right direction, will be opting for a one-party state. I doubt it, and as the old man has confirmed it, I want to remain focused. We can tell you on Monday everything will go. God bless.
Josiah Marvin Cole is Bond County District 3 representative there, speaking when he pledges support to the speakership bid of Deputy House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa. Well, folks, he's taking us to nearly half past the hour mark. If you're just joining us, a reminder that you're listening to 45-minute news production from the News and Current Affairs Department here at Freedom Communications Incorporated. This newscast is being proudly sponsored by Crime Stoppers Liberia and is being relayed on Heart Work Radio in Papa District, Grand Cape Mount County. I am Hagar Gonda, anchoring tonight's edition of the news program. Just a reminder of stories making news on today's edition of the program. Criminal Court A reaffirms trial jurors' guilty verdict with life imprisonment at the Monrovia Central Prison against former Chief Justice Councilor Gloria Musu Scott and 3 others for murder, but defense lawyers announces appeal to the Supreme Court. Ahead of Monday, January 15 speakership election, the Deputy House Speaker, Councillor Funati Kofa, promised to work in the interests of the country if he is elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives as President-elect Bwaka meets lawmakers. Internal dissatisfaction in Girls Unity Party alliance as leaked communications revealed growing rift between the UP initial alliance parties and the leadership of the Unity Party. In a way from Liberia, the BBC has unearthed new evidence that the late Nigerian mega church leader TB Joshua had dead bodies and intimidated families to cover up his role in the collapse of a building that killed at least 116 people at his church in 2014. We're taking a short break and we'll come back. We'll continue with more developments on the news program. Thanks for rejoining us. The sister of a man allegedly beaten by community dwellers on account that he allegedly murdered his girlfriend is calling on the Liberian National Police to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice. Speaking with Freedom News Tuesday in Monrovia, Hannah Bresley explained that she was called early New Year morning that her brother murdered his girlfriend, and before she rushed to the scene, that's the scene of the incident, angry community dwellers started to damage her home. She disclosed that due to the situation, she was unable to get most of her belongings, including money intended for her children's school fees, among others.
Help me for the public to hear me, or government official, anybody that can give me help to be able to tell them that I have a problem with my brother. And that because of this situation, my home was looted, my roof. So as I speak to you,
Okay,
this
this is the brother she's talking about. Go ahead.
okay, my brother on New Year Day, I was dishing up in my house. A lady just came, she stood outside and said, your brother killed his girlfriend. So when she said that, she walked away. I then entered my room, left the food to put on blouse to go there and see the person that my brother killed. But by the time I left my room in the hallway, group of guys rushed in my house. I had to make my way to outside and left there in the house. I went where the lady was. I didn't see her there. She was not there when I got there. But I then asked the people I met to excuse me to see the wound I was on her. And I saw the wound. She was at one less house. So while I was there, I wanted to see the kind of a treatment I already given to her. Before 5 minutes time, I got a call that people were looting my house and they spoiling my house. When I went back in my yard, I couldn't control it. So I left, I and my son, we left the post with him. We went Carysville to report the case that people were spoiling my house.
At the Carysville police station.
Police station.
Okay.
That people were looting my house and spoiling the roof.
And where the situation took place?
It took place in Fender behind the PMU building, Europe campus,
Okay.
Blossom Town.
Okay.
So when we were at Carysville, I later got called that my brother was in the town, in Blossom Town, with the guys that was spoiling my house and looting. But when I entered the town, I saw some police officer. I met one of them who told me he was a CSD commander. The name he gave me, he said his name is Zed, and that was the only name that he gave to me up to today. So he immediately asked me, who is this guy to you? I said, he's my brother. He said, look for money and carry your brother to the hospital. So he said, I don't have it down. I just passed to my house and everything is upside down. Nothing I can find there. He said, your brother killed, and he said, you don't have money. If you don't have money, if you talk again, I will call you and lay you right by your brother and drag your brother on the dump site. On Friday, I saw her.
So what do you want people to do for you? Maybe those who are watching this live, who are listening to you, what do you want them to do?
Right now, what I want for people is that I need help because my children need to go to school. The school fee I'm discussing is not needed for the group that in the grade school, but I have 2 university students at Thomas Father University. I was saving their school fees and everything is going.
The sister of a man allegedly beaten by community dwellers on account that he murdered his girlfriend there, speaking to Freedom News. Well, folks, stay ahead of the news is our regional developments, but this story will set the pace for our foreign news. Residents of Ziontown community in New Jerusalem in Painesville and that's Johnsonville Tuesday celebrated a significant milestone following the electrification of their communities by the LEC Gap Community Projects. Speaking at the lighting up ceremony Tuesday, the Chief Executive Officer of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, Monica Tan, expressed appreciation to the residents for cooperating with the technical team during the implementation of the projects. The LEC Chief Executive Officer said the 2 projects were implemented through the management team of the Liberia Electricity Corporation under the GAP Community Projects.
It is your persistence and your continuous engagement that have us here today, and that we can celebrate a collection of 1,219 homes. Light is light. You only have to look at the junctions that used to be dark, that used to be scared to walk home at night through. And now it's bustling with activities. People selling their markets, activities going on. People staying up later. And that's what life can do. It helps you to develop. It improves the quality of your life. It helps you to generate income because you can run your businesses. And you have suffered long enough. LEC have been able to find a solution to this problem. As you know, and I'm sure you've heard many times, we have a lot of problems. But our job is not to come and tell you our problem. Our job is to fix the problem. That's our job. If I bring the problem to you, we can solve it. So it's our responsibility. So we are very happy that we can put smiles on your face. And you know there are a lot of other communities like you that are waiting for their time to come. So that one day they can put a switch on and the light will come. And we are working our way there. When we leave from here, we are going to Johnsonville. We have two communities here. New Israel and New Jerusalem. We'll be switching them on as well. And we're just beginning. And as the chairperson said, this was not donors that gave us money. They recharge like LEC customers were doing. They said we'll go there and we'll take some of that money and we'll continue to expand the services of LEC until we can cover all the communities and everybody can have access to electricity. That is the mandate of LEC. Now, one thing I want to ask you to cooperate with us on. As you know, we are going through the dry season, and our hydro is not at full capacity because the water in the Simple River is not like during the rainy season. So the energy that we are producing is not the same, it's less. And you know when you have one big pot of rice and everybody eating inside, one day get paid here, get out of the red day. So when the light, when you put your light on, don't put everything on. Be sort of some other communities that way we can share around. That's energy conservation.
Monica Tan is the Chief Executive Officer of the Liberia Electricity Corporation there speaking. For his part, the chairman of the Zion Town community expressed gratitude to the LEC CEO and his team for lighting up their community. He extended appreciation to Monica Tan and the LEC staffers for their collaborative efforts in bringing electricity to the community.
Grateful for the facility we see in Zion Town community. I would like to recognize two group of people. I remember years back I worked with two successive leadership. And my role in those leadership was engaging stakeholders, engaging the national government. I remember every year there were two communications to LEC. We knock at the door every second. And God did, and God did, our prayers were answered. And that prayer today, we see the facility as a testament of the numerous engagements. I remember there was some time when the community member had this request, they organized a peaceful protest. And I can remember that Monday morning, professionals, and we joined the community members, and we were tear gas in the process. All other things were said, but because of the struggle, today we are here. A few months ago, we got a call for the LEC. And what was that call? 10 to die. No prayers have been finally answered. LEC is moving into Zion Town community with full effect. That is behind the local funding project. LEC evolving form. And I thought that message back to the community without joy because we also pray, knowing that one day Liberia will begin to use their own legal resources to fund projects. And when the community got to know, we were so happy. And today, we see the president. Why? We support on behalf of the people and citizens of Zion Town community from our hearts. We thank you for the job.
Let's rejoin Thomas Kojurula, this time for our regional stories.
Report from the BBC has unearthed new evidence of the late Nigerian Unified Church leader T.B. Joshua 8. They abolished and intimidated feminists to cover up the role in the collapse of the building that killed at least 116 people at his church in 2014. The collapse is one of the world's deadliest disasters to have ever struck a place of worship in Africa. The BBC investigation is the first time insider from TV Joshua Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos has presented evidence of what caused the incident nearly 10 years ago and how the pastor allegedly orchestrated a cover-up with the process. It follows evidence covered by the BBC of widespread abuse and torture by the founders of one of the world's biggest Christian evangelical churches across the world. 2 days after the collapse of the 12 September 2014 incident, the TV Joshua publicly said it was linked to an aircraft that flew over the building used to rehearse visiting the pilgrimage before an inquiry by a Lagos coroner agreed with emergency workers that spiritual failure had caused the guest house to collapse and said it has been built without proper planning permission. Well, Eka, that's it for the following series. Back to you for the continuation of the Tuesday's editions of Freedom News.
Well, on that note, that's how we like to draw down the curtains on tonight's edition of Freedom Evening News Basket. But before we take leave of you, let's remind you of stories that made headlines on today's edition of the program. Criminal Court A reaffirms trial jurors' guilty verdict with life imprisonment at the Monrovia Central Prison against former Chief Justice Constable Gloria Musu-Scott and 3 others for murder, but defense lawyers announces an appeal to the Supreme Court. Ahead of Monday's January 15th speakership election, Deputy House Speaker Councillor Fonati Kufa promised to work in the interests of the country if he is elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives, as President-elect Obaka meets lawmakers. Internal dissatisfaction in Gulf Unity Party alliance as leaked communication revealed growing rift between the UP intent as initial alliance party and the leadership of the Unity Party. And away from home, the BBC has unearthed new evidence that the late Nigerian mega church leader T.B. Joshua had dead bodies and intimidated families to cover up his role in the collapse of the building that killed at least 116 people at the church in 2014. Thanks to you for your listening role. Thanks to our writers, reporters, editors, and contributors, and all those who helped in making tonight's edition of the news program a success. Mavis Dape, Sarah Control ably coordinated the sound aspect on tonight's edition of the news program. Thomas Kojo Rolak was here with the reading of the news bulletin, inclusive of our regional developments. This news presentation was relayed on Heartwork Radio in Proper District, Grand Kidman County, and is proudly sponsored by Crime Stoppers Liberia. For and on behalf of the entire team, Anil Tyler ably coordinated the television aspect of our production. My name is Hagar Gonda. I presented. Good evening.